Good morning, good morning. Carrot here for some WildStar housing. It is bright and early, a little bit overcast, hoping that it stays that way. Been rather muggy since yesterday, so kind of yuck. Let me do my tweet real quick before I forget. There we go. That is that. Okay, so we got a few things to talk about today. Probably first and foremost, we did have a summer store update yesterday. As some of you probably are fully aware, it includes some summer swimsuit beachwear. It also includes a new mount, the Snarfalinks there, with the beach theme, wearing his sunscreen across the nose, sunglasses, and the Hawaiian shirt and everything. But also we've gotten some new decor packs. It's called the Summer Decor Pack. There's 3 different versions. There's the blue, the seaweed, and the pastel. Basically, they come with the same amount of items of each. It's just the theme is a little different. So, for instance, the blue version comes with the blue striped beach towels, and same way with the rolled ones, and you get the aquatic version of the ball with the turtle and stuff like that. The seaweed one comes with the seaweed version of the towels with the bright yellow and red trim. It also comes with the balls, the fish and all that. I think it's just the towels primarily that change if you want the seaweed version or the blue version, and then there's the pastel. Where is that? Yeah, the pastel, and that's more like the candy stripes, the blues and the pinks and the yellow trim. So if you're wanting a little bit of everything, you'll have to invest and purchase a pack of each. Morning, Cheeky and Bones. Glad you guys could join us. Be aware that last I heard, these things were like still a lot of the there's like still some issues. I know for sure, like the new Madame Faye items, there's some decor from there as well, that they're still soul bound, but they're in the works to be set as account bound, from what I understand. So be aware of that. That if you go to purchase them, just kind of, if you find out that whatever you purchase is kind of attached to the character you purchase on, don't freak out. The way I understand it, most of that is coming in, whether it's an update today or within the week or somewhere down the road. They're supposedly in the works of fixing that. I know there were some that were flagged differently, like the pet, I think, was flagged unique, which it shouldn't be. Just like some of the bundles were marked as limited time when they're supposedly going to be there as a permanent edition. So just kind of bear through it. Usually when an update like this hits, I always wait like a day or two before I do any purchasing, because there's always going to be a little bit of things that you got to kind of iron out. But for the amount of items that you get, I mean, you get like 3 times of this one, 3 times of that, 2 of the drinks, and 1 each of the other stuffs. For 115 omnibits, or if you go the Protobucks path, it seems like a fairly good deal. Granted, again, I don't know how it's going to work. Assuming everything is correctly labeled account bound, you should be able to mix and match all the individual items wherever you decide to move them. So hopefully that gets all ironed out and straightened up very soon for those that are looking to purchase these and divvy them up among their characters. Hey, Poi, good morning. So in that note, there are some new items available for the Madame Faye Fortunes. That's basically the little fortune thing that you can go in and get these little random cards, and each card, you know, sometimes you get just omnibits, sometimes you get dies, sometimes you get mounts and costume pieces, but decor is also included. These again, a lot of them are coming in as soulbound when you claim them. For instance, I got a couple of the new zombie playground fab kits. I have no idea what they look like, but they're currently soulbound. There's no way I'm going to use them on my mall shopping center plot, so I'm just patiently waiting until those get reflagged. I did see, I believe it was Bardic that specifically said that any items that have already been claimed and that are currently marked as soulbound, those will be retroactively tagged as account bound or just unbound, period, to make them sellable on the AH and that kind of thing. What was really weird is, like, for the Flares pack from the Fae coins, the box that they come in was not soulbound, but when you open the pack, everything inside was soulbound, which supposedly isn't the way it should be. So again, just exercise some patience, especially if you've already claimed a bunch of stuff without realizing that all of that was ironed out. And if you haven't, you know, maybe wait a day or so before you kind of go diving in. But I'll be showcasing some of the new Madame Faye items here in a moment, but I just want to cover a few other things. In addition to the patch that hit yesterday, I say it's a patch, it's basically an update, a game update. There have been a lot of, I don't want to say minor changes. Some of these are going to be pretty, not game changing, but will affect us pretty heavily. One of the big things I think that was kind of quietly brought in with this latest update is the cross-faction mailing. Now, it's not that I can mail something to a Dominion that I have no relation to. We're talking for your own account. For alts that you have on the opposing faction, you can now send mail to them. Anything that is not soulbound can be mailed to your alt now. This includes money. So if you have a Dominion alt that you've been tinkering around with and your main is on exile side and that's where all your funds are, now you're able to transfer some of those funds to your Dominion alt to be able to kind of fund their housing habit, which is a good thing for me because that's one of the things that I've been reluctant to mess with my my little Dominion Chua, because I really don't want to play it per se, but I wouldn't mind building some stuff on it, and I just ran out of money on him. So now I'll be able to send over some funds, and even though I won't be able to like do the same with like Renown or anything, at least money wise I can send over some money, and then I can start building with some of the, at least the housing vendor items, which is kind of what I do anyway, so that's good. And yeah, I think it works for all fab kits, Poi, including the underground casino, which I think Desmus, it was either Desmus or I think it was Desmus that showed a screening of it. From what I understand, all the fab kits from Madame Faye are currently soulbound, which they're not supposed to be. So if you would like to try, and if you've got multiples of them, or you've gotten one that you know for sure that you don't want to do, yeah, definitely hang on to them and just be patient, and that should be rectified hopefully sooner than later. It seems like everybody's getting the casino. I got the zombie playground. I have no idea what that is. It doesn't come with the preview that I know of, so And I don't want to accidentally, because yesterday I was messing around, was trying to send some things through the mail, and accidentally, I thought I was putting it in the mail, to actually send it off to an alt, and I apparently was learning it into the crate, and I was like, no, no, it's stuck there. But anyway, so cross-faction mailing for your account is live, is active. You can actually send items and money and things to your opposing faction alts, which is a really good thing. The only thing I notice is like usually when I go to send a mail to an alt, it kind of automatically knows the names. It doesn't work that way with your cross-faction ones. You actually have to know how to spell the name of your character. So if you're not sure on the spelling or want to make sure you don't get it wrong and send it to the wrong person, just kind of note those down. Thankfully, I don't have the ones. So, but yeah, exactly, Bones. Because I remember you asking about that, and I was so sad that I wasn't able to help you out with that. But now we can just kind of fund our own building on our alt. So I'm definitely going to be doing that with Melon very soon. In fact, that may become a side project that we work on, decking out his little Chula house. Okay, another thing is we have a new Dev Connect up. While it doesn't specifically relate to housing, depending on what you note for the discussion, it could actually affect some housing things. What this one is about is what we feel our top 5 quality of life changes would be. What would we like to see implemented? What are our top kind of things that we would like to see immediately added? Now, quality of life changes as they describe them are not necessarily low impact, but easily implemented. For example, the thing that they quoted as a sample of what they're talking about is the sell junk button, sell all junk button. Usually when you go to the vendor, you check out your gray items and you just sell everything piece by piece. We actually have a junket button, a sell junk button that you can hit, and it will just automatically sell every gray item you have. Now, I normally don't use it because there has been instances where some of like the new decor, like something off the top of my head, like the Tureen headdress decor, it accidentally got tagged as a junk item. It was gray quality. I was afraid that I would accidentally sell something like that by hitting the sell all junk button. So I don't actually use that. But for those that did, it was a convenience. They didn't have to, click multiple things. They just hit one button and voila. They considered that a easy to implement kind of what they call a low-hanging fruit kind of feature that could be implemented, pretty quickly, relatively easily. So that's the kind of things they're looking for. So things like the stuff we've been talking about, like terrain painting and dyeing your decor and everything in different shades of colors. I don't think that would be what they would consider a quality of life thing. But something like more crate space or account wide crate, that kind of thing, I think that would fall under the category. So if you have any housing or non-housing related quality of life issues that you think would be considered something that could be short-term implemented, that you would like to see put into the game, you feel not only would make your gaming experience easier and everything, but other people's, then definitely drop by the Dev Connect that is up. It's a sticky thread in the general discussion forum, so you should be able to find it relatively easy. It's a pretty hot topic right now, so it's getting bumped a lot, so you should be able to catch up with that. I didn't really go through everybody's entries, but I saw a lot of commonality between some of them. I just listed mine as, from my point of view, what I felt was something that, some things that could be implemented relatively easily and would make a lot of things easier for us. Not all of them were housing related, but a few of them were. So definitely get your 2 copper in on that subject. As well, Kathy has been promoting her new mini golf game that she has set up. She has it running as a 24/7 kind of thing that anybody can come to her plot, and the game will be triggered automatically, and you can goof around on it, without her needing to be there on the plot. And what it is, from what I understand, is she has a special alt that is logged into the game 24/7 and has a special Lua coding that automatically triggers when someone enters the plot, I guess. And of course, it's only available on NA side at the moment. But I am in the works of seeing about setting up a similar plot on EU side. It won't be the 24/7. I'll have to actually be present. It's going to be set up similar to how the Wild Ball was, because a lot of the working she does is not something us laymen like myself can easily get into. So she's going to see about setting up a special file for me to be able to use and implement some games on EU side for those that might be interested. So I don't know how long that's going to take to actually get into the game. She's first got to make a shopping list of everything that she used to build it, because basically what I've asked her is, or suggested that would probably be best, is just to make an exact replica of her plot from NA side to my, to EU side. She said that I can modify it however I want, if I want to change the look of the holes and stuff, but I think it'd be better to start with the exact same thing, and then if I decide to kind of change it up a little bit, at least I have a working skeleton to go by, so that I don't mess up the actual holes or anything, that I see how the concept is, and then I can dress it up a little extra. So that may be another project we embark on. I'm still waiting to hear back from her on that. All I know is there's probably a lot of things I'm going to have to collect before I even can begin setting it up. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you up to date on that. Trying to see if there's anything else. I think that's it. So let's just take a look at some of the new items that you can get from Madame Faye. We're going to look at them through the shopper because I don't have very many, and there's a lot of them that they just don't have good previews anyway. So, but some of the ones, and they're all kind of like space related. So, maybe I have to do a scan thing. Let me just do that. I think I have to go to my own house first. I thought I did this earlier, and it didn't seem to want to do that. Let me just double check, make sure I didn't just mess it up. Oh, there we go. See, now it's working. I don't know why. Let me go back to the other one. Oh, forgot the name of the character for a second. Okay, so we're just going to change this to 25 because for whatever reason that usually doesn't well, it's not showing those, is it? Okay, I think it was in the tools and hardware. Why they're listed here, I have no idea. But that's where they showed up when I was digging through the files, because again, I forgot to update, so I didn't actually get it to show for me that these things were new, and so I had to go through item by item and check it. But I have updated, as you can see, I do have the new two buttons, the ACK vendor and the new since ACK. Basically, ACK is short for acknowledge. So I've already used those, and hopefully the next time we have update, I can just hit the new since acknowledge. But some of the things that show up, of course, is the holographic taco sign. I don't know where that comes from, if it's actually in-game yet or not, but I thought it was kind of odd to see. I think I remember Dasmus tweeting about that. Yeah, Bones, I don't know why. For whatever reason, these are selected into the tools and hardware. I don't know if that has to do with how Katya's add-on views them or what, but whoever's putting these in are not paying attention to how they label them, flag them however they are. But some of the things is, maybe I was spelling asteroid wrong. Yeah, I think I was spelling it with a, I don't know. Anyway, there's the dimpled asteroid. So it's just a different version. Notice these are much darker than the other like asteroid rocks that we've had in the past. The other ones are lighter with like the blue crystally bits in there. These are a little bit more grayish, not as shiny, I think. More gritty looking. This is the cratered asteroid. Basically looks almost the same, just a different shape, bigger holes, I think. These might be good for simulating an actual cratered surface. If you make them larger and then fill them all up along your plot, then you might actually have like some, a lot of people have been asking for ways to make holes in their ground, and this might be a way to get that effect. It just might take a lot of finagling trying to get that sorted. I also noticed that there's some new chain link bits. It's like actual sections, barbed and unbarbed. Same way with the individual panels. These are the gate sections with the little Z bits on there. And then these are the plain ones. These would be good for setting up some netting or something. I don't know what those would be for. Doorways of some sort. Again, I don't know if these particular pieces are in game, but these asteroid bits are. Those are from Madam Faye coins. Then you have the spacewalk rocks. There's apparently 3 versions. There's the flat one. Got a lot of nice little creases and cracks and things. And then the cracked, a little bit more, you turn it right side up, look almost like a volcano kind of thing. And then you have the narrow, as almost like a double bit. And as Cheeky was saying, these would make perfect mountains, for someone that's trying to, create a nice little scene around the edge of their plot. While the sky for like the Arctera skies has those nice, like loopy, curved mountain backdrop. If you're wanting another kind of style, these would work awesomely great. You could even add some snow bits to them and make them snow-capped quite easily. But I see a lot of potential in a lot of these. So, right now the prices are pretty steep. But as time goes on, and as long as the Fae coins don't change too soon, we should see those drop in price, I think, because from what I could tell, the rocks for sure were a fairly common drop. So from the coins, so we should see that pricing go down quite a bit, hopefully. And of course, I think a lot of folks' favorite is the new little gas giant planet. Very colorful. You can see it's animated. I've seen a lot of screenings with it already. Folks kind of setting it up into the sky to make it look like it's another little heavenly body up there. Others have been using it, just goofing around with it on their plot. I think I saw somebody using it as a seat. I don't know if that was one of you guys, or I can't remember now, but it's a very pretty little thing. but obviously it's not going to suit everyone's builds, but certainly different stuff for sure. Then we have a lot of, well, that's just not, they changed the thingy. Yeah. We have a lot of alien NPCs. These are actually in the correct thing. It's under characters and creatures. But as you can see, they don't actually have a preview. I myself have gotten a steam glider. I think it's style 2, but I haven't used it yet. But it's one of those, it looks like it's that little, almost like looks like a kite animal. It's got like, almost looks like a goldfish even. But it's those ones that's on Far Side where they kind of fly around the little antennas, and you have to kind of get rid of them by, I don't know, zapping them with lightning or something. But they're kind of elongated, and they got several sets of wings, and that's what those are. There's also the terminite, the scug, the buzzbing, the scug queen, and the scug egg. I'm hoping that somebody like Desmoose or something comes out with a video that will better show these, because clearly the previews are very lacking in that. It's one of the things I hate about the NPCs. Typically, you go to preview those and you mostly just see banners. You know, if it's exile, you see the exile banner. If it's something else, you just see these weird little banners. This one actually has a bit of a preview, but it's about the only one of just about everything. There's very few that actually have little visible previews, which is a shame. I really wish that wasn't the case. But because, you know, we always, when we go to buy something, especially from the auction house or something, it's really nice to have a preview of what it looks like. But yeah. Okay, so I think that was most of them. Let's see. Let me change this back to all types. I think there was a couple of new Jelliants. This is the typical one we have, the thin. And then there's also the cluster that you can buy from the vendor, I believe. Now they've got these tall ones. Not exactly sure about the purpose of it, but this is the bulbous version, so it's like a double top instead of the tall one being a single. Again, I don't know if these two are actually in game. The only ones I know for sure that are in game are the alien NPCs, all of the little creatures and such, the asteroid rocks, the spacewalk rocks, and the little planet. Now there are some new fab kits. In fact, I'm not even sure. Let me go back to my main plot so I can check on that. I'm not sure. There might actually be some previews of the new fab kits in the fab kit dilly majigger, whatever you call that. Let's see. Biomes. Ferris, Google, Ice Jeeper. Yeah, zombie playground. So there's not a good. It looks like a four-corner little space. That's just really strange. It looks like it's got like a little mini boxing ring. It's just probably just what it looks like. It's probably not a boxing ring. I have no idea. It looks like a lot of barbed wire and like some poison canisters and such. It definitely looks like nothing that I want. I can't tell if there's like NPCs that come with it. If it's some kind of a challenge fab kit, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Okay, it says place this plug for your chance to tackle the Squirt Run challenge. So it's some kind of a challenge with little squirties. Oh, do you, Cheeky? Which one is that on? Is that on Elora's? I wouldn't think so, because pretty sure you're working at something else on that one. Oh, is it on Ductor? Well, let's just head on over there then. We'll be nosy. Ductor Doom to the rescue. This is his moon base. I don't think he's done with this quite yet. Where on his plot does he have them? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get lost here. I assume it's out here somewhere. I don't want to look too much because we're not touring his place right now. I don't see it here. Oh, well, he's got so many alts. Let me see. I'm going to note down Doom, though. It's looking pretty good coming along. No, it's not this one. Let's see. We're just going to do like a whole trip through Ductor's. It's the warrior one. Okay, it's not this one. Let me see. Is it Doctor Who? Okay. That's the one that's got his black hole house as well, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, there's the big planet you can even see. Oh, awesome. He's got a whole bunch of stuff out here. This is great. So here's some of the asteroids. Look at the shadows those things are casting. He's got the Shades Eve sky up, so I guess it's really making the shadows very stark. But these are the different asteroids, and you can see, look at this one. It's awesome for like a mountain range if you turn it upside down. And then this is this is the glider, the steam glider that I was talking about. It looks like a goldfish, but it's, you know, on air. And I guess there's two different versions. I saw this like version 1, style 1 and style 2 or whatever. I don't know which one this is. Okay, this says it's style 2, so. This is the Scug egg. Little purple pinky thing. This is the Scug Queen, I believe. Doesn't she look all pretty? Got her glowworm stuff going on. And this is the Terminite. It's really awesome that they're giving us so many of these NPCs and stuff. And then these are the ship hand things. There's the cozy version. There's two different of those. You can see for the guys, one's red, one's green. I think it's like, yeah, this is the ship hand green. This is the red. Got their little helmets on. Then you have the girls, the dispatcher, with their hair hanging out. This is the blue version. Doesn't really look too blue to me. It looks more like another shade of green, but anyway. Is the planet solid? I have no idea. I wonder if I can like ride up in there. No, it looks like it's too high for me. It's got a bit of a halo around it, that purple shading. It's too high for for me. Then there's the gold version. I love the detail on the costumes and stuff. He's got like weird markings on his face. Or is that supposed to be like glasses or something? Then you have the Grumples. They've got the Spacefarer Style 1, which looks like they're wearing an orange shirt. And then the Spacefarer Style 2, which is more yellow-green. Remember, with the skylighting, it might be a little different in coloring, but yeah, for those that are looking for some additional NPCs, especially those that have spaceports, um, uh, asteroid kind of types of builds, that kind of thing, these will be perfect for that with their helmets and such on. Okay, this is I guess it's the casino, underground casino fab kit right here. Looks very kind of ramshackle put together. Looks like a crashed ship has been modified into this little casino tab. I love here's, everybody's always been making these arcade games and slot machines, and here's Carbine's version of that. I want some of these beer bottles as decor. And this red soda machine as well. We've got the green one for a long while with the red one as well. Okay, so I guess this takes me inside. I'm nervous. Can you actually build things inside the fab kit? I heard someone say something about the interior wasn't like housing, wasn't a housing interior. It was something else. Wish Ducky was here. Oh, was it Serinda that posted that post? I knew I saw somebody that had posted them sitting on the planet. I assume it still rotates while they're sitting on it, so it probably looks a little weird, but... Oh, is this the light you're talking about? Oh yeah, I love that. Pretty blue color with the spinny wheel. It'd make a good... It's like a ceiling fan. Got some loose helmets here. Yeah, it says it's called Creepy Cave. So it's not really... it doesn't seem like it's an actual housing instance. It's like more like an expedition instance. Yeah, I love that light. That is pretty nice. I like the curtains too. Look at those. It looks like the new Protostar ones, but of a different shade. I like the little panel even. It looks kind of like the bridge monitor, but it's actually got animation on it now. Yeah, I suspect you can't actually put anything in here. Look at that little beer bottle with the can. The different, what is that is? Is that a vent? It looks like a little vent creature. Maybe it's like their version of Red Bull. The vent bull gives you wings. Oh gosh. Yeah, like those bottles separately, that bottle separately, the beer can, the beer bottle. I want all those as individual bits. Even that little, that'd make a great lamp base. Yeah, that's a shame. And if I remember right, I think someone said that when you use the teleporter from the inside, it takes you back to your own plot, which is very possible. So let's see if that's true. Because normally the instances for the little like the houses, they take you to the port, the house that you were on. So see, now I'm back where I was. So let's go back to Ducky's place. But yeah, look at the string lights. Those would be nice to have as individual bits. See, that's my problem. That's why I hate using fab kits, because I drool over the props that they use to put those together, and I can't help but wish that we had those for ourselves. Okay, so this is the zombie one. I don't actually want to trigger the challenge, but this is the zombie one. So see how it's like four different little zones? You got the blue and the gold and the green and the blue over here. I guess the different kinds of squirgs or something come out. Look at that. It's kind of like the soul frost, but it's red lava looking. I don't want to go inside. Leave some things to be surprised for those that happen across it. But for those curious, this is Jabbit EU Exile side. This is Ducktor Who's D-U-C-K T-O-R Ducktor Who W-H-O. You're looking for a plot that has some of the stuff on here that you want to take a look. And for those of you that actually haven't seen the black hole house, this is what it looks like. It comes just like this. It's like a crater. You got some like wind animation where like the bridge is being taken up into the black hole. And then when you click on it, you just go into this space. And he's put his little TARDIS in here to kind of freak you out. So weird. The place actually like is really shaped strangely. It goes up kind of crooked, and it's like a tunnel type of effect. Um, Not something I think I would want. I don't know if it has any kind of modifications like a normal house does, if like you can change the color of the black hole effects or the shape of the crater or something. I have no idea. But it's definitely, I find it fun that they're trying different things, different concepts for the houses and such, but I think a lot of the ones that's been coming out recently, even the fab kits and stuff, are very limited in their possibilities, because I think just the way that they're set up, they're not very flexible for everybody's theme. I think you'd have to kind of come up with something specifically for that. But yeah, so that's a look at some of the, again, the fab kits and the space critters here and the rocks and the planet. All that comes from the new Madame Faye coins. They've removed some of the stuff that was in there before, and they've replaced it with these new goodies. As to whether or not those that were removed will come back at a later time, only Carbine knows. I assume that they will probably cycle it in and out, but I have absolutely no idea on that. So yeah, if you're looking for some new stuff, these are the things to keep an eye on. Now, I know for a fact that the rocks, the asteroid bits, and a lot of the NPCs are all tradable already. The ones that folks are having a fuss about is currently the fab kits are not. They're marked soulbound when you claim them. You know, it's not like you open a box to get the fab kit. The fab kit actually just, you know, when you flip a card and it says, you know, fab kit or whatever, it pops out into your inventory and it's auto soulbound. But supposedly that is being changed. So fingers crossed that happens soon. And those of you that are wanting to get hold of some of these new bits will be able to. Again, the prices are probably pretty steep at the moment for a lot of this, but as more and more people try their luck and get multiples and end up putting them on the AH, the prices are liable to go down some. So hopefully it becomes affordable. I'm actually going to really try and get a hold of some of these for sure. The spacewalk rocks. I think that would be, of all of the things that I see here, those would probably be the only two that I'd actually be able to use in multiple places. So those would be the things I'd be interested in. Okay, so back to my alts plot. What we're looking to do today is to finish up, and when I say finish up, probably not do too much left, so that we can kind of go ahead and link all this together and see just how much junk I've put into it past the standard, the 245 or so that it basic shape would be, and how much I've actually added to it. I imagine it's going to be pretty steep, but we'll see. So I'm just trying to think. I really don't want to add too much more. I know I could add some more shelves, some more plants, some more little extras just to kind of flesh it out, but I don't really want to get too much more in here. I think about the only thing that I might be tempted to add is some kind of like pantry shelving, but I think I'm just going to pretend that that's what this is. Notice I haven't added like other amenities like the washer, dryer. I'm just going to assume that when they want to clean something, they'll get a bucket and put it out here and then hang it up on a line or something. So we're not going to get too fancy beyond that. I think what we will do is just kind of play around, since it is still the food CBDC going on, that we will mess around with seeing about making a plate of food here based on the burger patty that we've got. So how to build a burger. What are we going to use as the buns? Now notice the table's fairly thin, so it's not like I can get away with hiding a bunch of stuff. So I'm having to kind of think about things that might be used standalone, basically as they come, kind of thing. So what we'll first do is see if we can grab one of these sets. Where are you? There we go. So we get a burger, and move that patty over here. So we have a patty to start with. We're going to build from that. I have a misshapen patty, but oh well. No burger's perfectly round unless you got those little burger presses, which that's just kind of lame. You want that kind of homemade looking burger patty. So what could you use as a bun? Probably if I thought ahead, I would have crafted some Orin windows and used those, but since I didn't, we'll just go with what we have. Probably the quickest and easiest would be one of the domes. And I think the The Exile one probably worked the best. Kind of like a brown bun. No one wants a depressed burger. You are so bad, Bones. So bad. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this first one. We're gonna make it, just bring it down to about a size that I think looks okay. And I don't like it where the burger is way smaller than the patty, so, I mean the bun. But you don't want to like supersize over the bun, so gonna try and find a happy medium in there somewhere. This looks about good. A little overlap, but not too much. Okay, turned it a little bit. And since it's the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and sink it in a little bit as if the bun has been squished a little. So what do we want on our burger? And I know this still looks kind of raw, but hopefully we can, after we cover things up, it won't look like that. It'll just look like a burger. Hey Zodi, good morning. Glad you could join us. And Faye and everybody else, anyone that I might have missed. I know there's a few lurkers there, so it's not that I'm purposely ignoring you. I don't have one of those special add-on thingies that let me know when someone enters the chat. I have to actually physically click it to even see who's in the chat. Same way with when someone follows, I don't have like notices that pop up or anything. Anyway, so we need some kind of lettuce, right? Now you could cheat and like use the actual sandwich decor or like the taco decor, since that's kind of handy off of the vendor, to get some extra little bits, like if you want to pretend like there's some onions. I actually thought about using these bits here as like fries and just hiding the taco bit in a fry container and everything, but it just seemed like this one's like poking out oddly, so I didn't think I could get away with that. But you know, you could like I said, hide the taco, hopefully cleverly, and so you don't see the taco part, and then just have like the extra bits, like maybe it's onions or bits of cheese or something. Some kind of special sauce. You could also go, if you're wanting the lettuce, you could go with the green pillow. Trying to think if there's anything else green. Any of like, well, not any, but some of the lighter green bushes and plants, like maybe the overgrowth would work. I'm gonna replicate this and push it over. Excuse me, got like hiccups and stuff. You can see it's kind of like meh, maybe you don't like that. So, but it's a possibility. It really depends on what you're putting together, how it looks. But like I said, you could maybe go with the overgrowth. And one, I say, not all the green ones work. The darker green ones, they could probably work too, but the brighter ones seem to look more like the iceberg lettuce, to me anyway. And the overgrowth is probably the brightest green that we have, or among the brightest. So just find one that you think would work well. I think the medium, the regular size one would probably work the best. Yeah, the summer pack is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. We were looking at it Well, I already showcased it, did some previews of it earlier, but yeah, it's been pretty nice. I'll like preview it and then like shortly after they add it, it's like cool, you know, that was pretty quick. I mean, there's so many items that are actually in the game, files that haven't actually been added that you never know when they're going to actually do it. But it's been pretty fun that they've done it so quickly, it seems. Okay, so basically, I would like make a little round of this. You know, notice you don't have to actually fill the middle in unless you're doing like an open face burger, which we're not doing. Um, but I'd want to make sure that this is kind of visible mostly around all the edges there. Again, this is one of those little details you might not want to do too much of because the decor does add up. I mean, look how many pieces I'm using for a layer of lettuce. It's, rather than one piece, I'm using like 6 or 7 probably. And a lot of folks won't want to get into that kind of detail, but you know, if you're building a diner or a restaurant, the food is going to be part of your build, and you want to make some interesting items. You don't want to just always lean on the ready-made food that we have. Okay, so does the lettuce go on the top or the bottom? Do you guys have a particular order? No? Yeah, don't look at that. That's like over a year's worth of accumulation, Zodi. That's a combination of a long time playing and being stingy. I am very cheap. I I don't have to play, you know, pay a large amount. I tend to make sure that I don't. 'Cause, I don't know. I'm cheap that way. It's one of the reasons why I promote, you know, folks not having to have all of that hard to get decor and everything because I, I don't want to pay for it or work for it. I just, okay, so I'm going to automatically link all the little greenery around. So we can, I'm going to raise it up a little bit. I want more of the burger showing. Now notice I've got it kind of a ways from the bun. That's on purpose in case I decide to add maybe a layer of cheese and make a double cheeseburger or something. You know, I want to leave some space. So what else would you expect to see on, well, make up your mind, Bones. Okay, so the green around bottom, huh? Okay, we'll put the green on bottom. Lettuce is on bottom. And then we've got the, oh, which one is the mama? Come on. There we go. And notice I'm kind of mostly looking at what it looks like from the front. Really, by rights, I should be watching how it looks like from all sides. But, yeah. The bun butt? Okay. Well, we're going to do ours a little different, I guess. Now, since my burger's already kind of red looking, I'm probably going to steer from trying to replicate a slice of tomato. But good tomato objects that wouldn't require you to hide it too much is probably, I don't know, there's really not too many because most of them you have to kind of hide because most people use like the tops of the stools, whether it be the tiki stool or the red stool, the cushion stool. But those have the legs that you have to contend with. Another fave could be the new firework decor, the dynamite one. That would make a good tomato, but again, you've got that long part that you got to hide. Since you do have the depth of the burger to go through as well, you might could get away with the dynamite one. But remember, it would probably have to be like small slices, like cherry tomato slices or something. Cheese is going to be tougher because you want it to be like the four corners kind of bowing down, like it's been kind of slightly melted, I guess. I don't know if we can get away with using the cheese blocks for that, or if we'd have to use something else. Now, I would normally say use like the pillow, but it comes with those green tassels. Now, if they do add the new pillows, having the green style one be also in yellow, that would probably work better. But let's see if we can get away with the cheese wedge and just kind of fake in a square. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but we'll try it. Let's see, how would we do this? I guess first I need to figure out how I'm going to make like a square with this. Normally I make a round with it, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make a square. Let's see. Kind of a rectangle. Just looks like a longer rectangle. Flip it on the flat side. Oh, I see what you mean, like so. Having that as part of the square there. The thing I'm worried about is if I make it bigger, then the point is probably going to be poking through the bottom. Because again, a lot of times when I'm building these things, I'm trying to think of ways to make it without it poking through. Maybe this, if I piece it together like 6 or 7 pieces. Come on. I want it to be kind of like a droopy corner. Come on. Nope. Oh, it almost. Well, for crying out loud. Like so. Oops. Let me just send those to crates so I'm copying those instead of then buying new ones. Yeah, that works pretty good. Oh, that's not going to work. Woo. Again, that's why it's important to look at it from all angles. You'll see, oops, that's sticking out where it should be. Dang it. Keep hitting the wrong thing. I like holy cheese. Swiss cheese is good. I like cheddar too, but cheddar seems to be more greasy. My son likes that on his pizza, the cheddar cheese, and uh, for the longest is like you just want to get a napkin and lay it over it and soak up all that grease and stuff. Seems to be sticking up funny. Well, it's probably because I turned it because I want the corner to be kind of hanging down. I'm trying to make it look like a melted slice of cheese. I don't know if that's working out right. My burger's kind of disappeared there. I have to make it a little bigger. Question is, can I get a hold of it in order to make it bigger as one piece? There we go. That's a big burger. I've never heard it quite described like that. Welcome back, Bones. Gotta love those short meetings. Well, provolone, that's what I use on my pizza. Oh, we don't have Colby Jack here that I know of. That's more like something I remember from the States. It's funny too, you know, in the States you get the cheese section and it's all either yellow cheese or white cheese of some kind, you know, whether it's Swiss or provolone or Colby or whatever. You know, I think the most exotic is that I've seen there in my neck of the woods from the States was Parmesan. That was like exotic. Because it was usually Swiss or cheddar. Here, you go to the deli area and there's like just hundreds of different kinds of cheeses. And they're not strictly just yellow or white. They have like green stuff and stuff with like herb coatings and nuts and fruit bits in them. And I don't know, it's just some really weird stuff. Pikachu cheese. Okay, maybe we can put a tomato on there. I don't know if we can get away with it. You could try, you know, using something for onions. I think the cheese is probably okay. Let's see what it looks like just as it is. Those very strictly shaped buns. You want to get particular, you could probably add something that looks like sesame seeds on it. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that might work for that, except maybe the cave sprouts. I don't know why that comes to mind. It's probably because I used them as flour before. But like add those as like little sprinkles for some kind of strange what do you call them? Sesame seeds? I think that's it. I think it's just too big though. But I think that'll work. That looks like a pretty hefty burger. Like a big burger. I built my house Orange size and the food is like granite size. Says a lot, I think. Yeah, American cheese, I don't know. I think if I tried to eat that now, I'd probably taste like plastic. Because, we used to get those with the individually wrapped and it just looked like weird stuff. I think that probably the one that I missed in the beginning was Velveeta because that was probably the best thing to use for like macaroni and cheese. It had a really nice, it melted smoothly and it didn't like break down and split or anything. Yeah, my Oren's a pig. She's a reflection of me and everything. Except she looks a little bit more fit than I do. I still haven't gotten a hold of any of the swimsuits. I'm gonna have to, I guess, check those out. But there's the burger. We got a burger. Um, but with any burger, there's always condiments and stuff. So let's see. The traditional ones for us is either your ketchup, mustard, and mayo. So let's see if we can come up with some containers for those that kind of represent that. So probably the fireworks stuff would work the easiest. The dynamite one for the ketchup. Um, the red rocket for the mayo. And probably we'll see if we can get away with using the bananas for the mustard because I don't think this one will work right. Make sure I don't have any already in the crate before I start buying some. Ew. That sounds like a really odd combination. I think the thing that I craved that was odd was matches, burnt matchsticks. I think that was the oddest thing. I like the smell of it and I would nibble on the, the burnt matchsticks. Everybody thought I was nuts, but I don't know, it tasted okay. Not that I eat them now, but at that time, it was just something weird. But I didn't have like any pickle and ice cream kind of cravings or anything like that. Oops. Keep moving stuff I don't mean to move. Again, have to contend with that little bit sticking out. Just turn that. Make that just part of the top. The dirt thing sounds a little weird. I mean, what did you do? Go get some store-bought dirt so that you were making sure you weren't eating like any kind of droppings by something or whatever? It's one of the reasons, like my husband, when we bought the property here, he was intent on like getting a garden set up. But we have a real big issue with a lot of like pigeons and stuff like to camp out in our yard. And they just poop everywhere, all over the strawberries and the berry bushes and stuff that he'd planted, and then he'd bring in his little crop, in this bowl and go, here, you want to buy it? Like, no, I know what's been on those things. I didn't want to eat it. And he was like, but they're, fresh. They don't have pesticides. So, yeah, but the bird pooped on it. I, I don't care if you wash it 100 times, it's still going to be thinking about the bird poop. But yeah, I would think you wouldn't just go get a spoonful of dirt out in the backyard or whatever. Oh, do they? That's gross. That's something from like the Harry Potter stuff. Dirt flavored jelly beans. Well, that's just yummy. The things they come up with. I know when I was little, scratch and sniff stickers used to be really big, and I remember them making one that supposedly smelled like dead body. It's like musty and I don't know what. But I remember our teacher getting those for like for Halloween or something. But that was her thing. She really loved the scratch and sniff stickers because she'd give those as, you know, little rewards on our papers and stuff. I was like, ew. Now I'm piling these on individually to make a little bit bigger bottle. But I'm not sizing it up because, again, I'm fussing about having stuff sticking through the bottom. I'm trying to avoid that. And that is why I'm doing it like this. Oops. By right, you really don't want to use this many pieces for a thing like this, but that's what I'm doing. Trying to make a ketchup bottle, of all things. Notice I'm turning it so that the wick all goes to the center. Let's see, I wonder if I could get away with this being the top for it. I don't think so, just because of the white, but I'm going to try it anyway. And it's a little crooked, and there's just a lot of things wrong with it. I don't know, other than a few of the little sticky things showing, that doesn't look too bad. There's a ketchup bottle, sort of. Oh, that one's kind of showing through. Just add another one. Can't seem to get the one to show up. Come on. A little bit. There we go. So there's a ketchup bottle. Let's see if we can make a mayo bottle now. This one I figure I'm gonna have to do it like this. And I don't know if it's going to work because it's bent all weird. It may not. Is that what they were called, Mr. Yuck stickers? I just know that it's probably one of the few memories I have from back then. I mean, I'm talking like grade school and stuff, which is like eons ago for me. That she was very fond, the instructor I had was very fond of scratch and sniff, putting them on our papers and stuff. And I recall that there was the one for, I don't know if it was Halloween or what, but it supposedly smelled like death. It was pretty weird. It just smelled really stale and yucky. Whether or not it actually smelled like death is another story altogether. But well, it looks okay from this side. Try it from this. Rotate this a bit. Put that away. Really hard to get that sandwiched in just right, I swear. If you enlarge the one, then that one shows through, and that one you don't want showing. We'll leave it like that. Maybe it's decoration on the bottle or something. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. What? I've never even heard of that. Now I remember the scented markers. And I always thought that was a bad idea because anything kids smell that smells like candy and stuff or food, obviously they're going to want to munch on. But somebody had the bright idea that they would make nice smelling stuffs for your markers. There we go. There's our mayo squirt bottle. You know, the little, and there you go. Let's see. Let's link all these together. Because I have those in other places, I'm sure. I'm going to try and make sure it's just general vicinity here. Whoops. Don't want those going with it. I think it was just those. No. And then we have the mustard one that I don't know how we're going to do that because it got that big old piece of banana stem that we got to hide. And it's crooked, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's like yellow looking. I know the Orin pillars are kind of yellowish, but not really. I mean, they're not like that. You know, when I think of mustard, I think of French's yellow mustard. That's like a bright, super bright yellow. I'm not talking the Dijon, like baby poo mustard that they have around here, which I cannot stand. I don't know what it is. It always tastes really weird and burny hot and yucky. I guess I just like the neon, the bad stuff kind of mustard. something about that I prefer. I'm sure it's probably not the best kind of food to eat, but see, can any of y'all think of anything with yellow that would work for that? And remember, the big trouble is trying to find something that um, can be used, oops, pretty much standalone without too much excess hanging down. That's the big trouble in finding something that works for that. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work at all. I don't know what I've got going on there. Let me see. Let me straighten this up. That's just messy looking. I've tried lots and lots of Dijon mustards because basically here, the only way you get the mustard I'm used to is by going to like the specialty shops. And I just don't like them. It's just, it tastes nasty to me. It just, it's probably one of those things where if you've been born and raised on it, then that's all you're used to. That's all you will accept. And I'm sure that's what it is for me. I'm kind of set in my ways. Okay, I don't think these bananas are going to work very well. Let's try something else. I'm going to try the pillars. That's about the next closest. It's not as bright, but it's, pardon me, still kind of yellowish, see? Yeah, I like the classic yellow. I just noticed, in fact, that the Heinz brand has actually come up with some new mustards for here. They have the Heinz brand, but they didn't have. It's always been, your traditional Dijon-y mustards. But they were just advertising that they're bringing out this one that's kind of like, it's not, called French's, but it looks like French's. It's really bright yellow, and I'm interested in trying it out. Because normally we have to go to the American shop that's there in Antwerp to get some of our harder to find foods. Like, for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, we traditionally make a pumpkin pie, and everybody just does the canned pumpkin, and then you add your spices and stuff to it, and they don't have that here. And but they do at the American food shop. And so for Christmas, when I want to make a pumpkin cheesecake or something, I always go there and stock up on the pumpkin, canned pumpkin, because otherwise I have to resort to actually buying an actual pumpkin, cooking it down, draining it, making my own puree out of it, which tends to be way too watery, even no matter how much draining I do on it and cooking it, trying to cook out the water and stuff. It just doesn't taste the same, so I'm anxious to see if this new mustard is worth its mustard. Okay, this is the dorky way to go for the mustard bottle, but about as good as I'm probably gonna get. Notice I'm doing a lot of eyeballing. There's no measuring or calculating. I pretty much loathe doing that, so I avoid it at all costs. That's just me being me. If you prefer to do the actual, you know, numbering and everything, you know, go for it. That's just not me. Okay, it's not as well. Let me add these, I guess. A little later, trying to make it a little round instead of like a square. Not really well done, but it's just a quickie example, folks. If you do something like this, obviously you want to do a little bit better than I'm doing. Okay, so there's your condiments stuffs. Let's link these up. Well, when I have egg salad bones, it's usually just well, usually it's basically like tuna salad with a little bit of egg in it because I do like the tuna, and I like chopping up pickles. Now, when I say pickles, I mean gherkins. For those of you that get confused with that green baby yellow poo-poo stuff in a jar, that's called pickles. It's not really pickles. Um, I chop up the gherkins and then I have an egg in there, and that's my egg salad. But it's really tuna salad with egg because I don't really like just egg salad um, by itself. But again, I use like the yellow mustard with that, and it's really a small amount because the yellow mustard is pretty strong. Well, for the longest, I didn't make the pumpkin pies, but my son, we took a vacation really early on when we moved to Belgium here. We took a vacation to England, and they have some restaurant called Little Chef, I think is what it's called. And he tried the cheesecake there, and he absolutely fell in love with cheesecake. So for ages, I've been trying to find, you know, I'm not one of those real good, you know, from scratch cooks. Some things I do from scratch, but I really like to do like what they call like food hacks. I like use mixes and things like for our homemade pizza, we use an actual uh, mix for the dough. We roll it out and let it rise and everything. So that part is hands-on, but the actual ingredients for the dough we get straight from a mix. But I kind of do the same with a lot of my desserts because any way I can cut corners to kind of make it less work for me is, you know, good. But in the beginning, when we were looking for like things for like cheesecake and stuff, they actually had things here that they call cheesecake, but the texture and stuff is all wrong. Um, at least for the cheesecake that I grew up on and that he had tasted and stuff. So I've been spending years and years, and finally we found one that we kind of like the texture of. It's not quite exactly the same, but it's the closest we found, and that's I think it's called Dr. Oetker's. It's a little mixed kit that you just add your milk, your cream cheese, and everything. Now, actually, I was going to look this up if I was actually using the same thing. Ah. Oh, for crying out loud. Now, they asked for something they call platakas, which I can't think it literally translates to like flat cheese. I used cream cheese, for my cheesecake. So, but I think they use something that's slightly different, so the texture is always a little funky when you get an actual cheesecake or cheese tart from them. Um, but where it asked for platicas, I actually used just cream cheese, and it worked out really good. Like I said, it's the closest that we've had. In fact, I made one last night for our anniversary. But with the pumpkin pie, my mom always made the traditional just pumpkin pie. It was, with the whipped topping on top of it. And because my son has a avid love for cheesecake, I decided to try and combine the two. So for several years now, I've been making pumpkin cheesecake. But when you use the homemade pumpkin puree, it's usually too watery, and no matter how long you cook it, it never sets properly. So the canned pumpkin is much better because whatever they do to process it helps get all that moisture out of it. I mean, it's still got moisture in it, but it's not as watery as when I make my own puree. Maybe it's just I don't know how to make proper puree, but the times that I've tried it straight from an actual pumpkin, it just never worked out really well. The texture and setting just didn't work. Thanks, Sodi. 17 years, can you believe it? It seems like only, yesterday we moved here, so that means we've been here for like 16 years, and I still can't speak the language. And yeah, it sounds like a long time, but it doesn't really feel that long. Of course, my husband jokes, yeah, it seems like forever, because he is, likes to be ornery about that. But pumpkin scones. Now, scones, is that like the biscuit kind of things, the little round bread thingies? Uh, I know they like to add like fruits and stuff inside their breads. Our biscuits are traditionally just plain. That's true, Kim. That's true. That's probably why, I've gone through so many different ones and said, nope, that's not right. Go to another one. Nope, that's not right. It's kind of like biscuits. For the longest, I tried making biscuits here. Like I remember my mom making, I use her recipe and everything, but the flours are different between what we get in the States and what we get here. I think ours are more finely processed or something. Something about it is a little different. So the way they raise, how much more baking powder and stuff like that you have to add to it, I think the ratios are a little different. But my husband's been really wonderful and working on that, and finally he's perfected the biscuits using the flours here. So I think a lot of it is just trial and error. For me, especially during the holidays, I try to keep everything as streamlined and simplified as possible. Anything I can make well in advance, I try to do that. And anything that allows me to free up the oven for other things, we have limited, uh, burners on the stove. We have the one oven. We got the little toaster oven, and then everything else, But if we want to make a nice meal, we can't have like 4 or 5 things that need the oven. So that's why I love the crock pot, because I usually just do that one, throw it all in and forget about it for the day, and then you're good. When I say biscuit, I'm talking the American version. I know here biscuit usually means like cookie, but if I'm going to talk about a cookie, I'll call it a cookie. But I'm talking like the biscuits and gravy biscuit, the traditional American. It's like a little fluffy, flaky, little doughy thing. It's crispy on the outside, a little brown and everything. Um, but for the longest, like I said, I'm like a wannabe hobby cook. I'm not even a hobby cook. My husband's more the baker in the family. He does a lot of the breads and stuff. Um, but I love messing with desserts, so I kind of focus on that for the holidays, and he does the other stuff. And then, we kind of share it. But he's finally perfected the biscuits using the ingredients that we have available here. Because, when you move from one country to the other, you don't even think about the availability of certain food products you're using. It's like when I go to the interwebs to talk about looking up some recipes and stuff, they'll talk about, oh, you use a dash of Lowry seasonings or Mrs. Dash, or it's like we don't even have those products here, so it makes it kind of tough. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Zoe stuff. Really, honestly, I really need to get over on NA side and just snoop around for like a week. I could probably just get lost in everybody's plots over there. I mostly kind of just see other people's videos and screenshots and things. Um, but yeah, I definitely need to. I'm super reluctant to commit to it, but I probably should uh, go ahead and dive into coming over regularly on NA side to do some house tours, because you guys have some amazing stuff over there. And while some of it has actually been showcased, it just feels like there's a lot that's getting missed out on, because you can't expect somebody to keep the same plot for months and months and months. A lot of us, while some of us do, a lot of us like to change it up. And Rizwin Flower Song, is that Flower's other plot? Let me make sure I spell this right. Rizwin. Yeah, Cruz. It's true that some of us have had plots. I mean, my mall plot's been there since last year sometime, I think. Um, but I was one of those that I didn't really like messing with alts too much in the beginning. Because one, it's a pain in the butt to try and move the furniture that you want over there, having them access to certain reputation vendors that have certain decor that you want. And my main was the one that had all the money and collected all the nifty decor, and that's where it was created and everything. So the alts didn't really have access to all those extra goodies. Um, so I was reluctant to mess with alts. So for a long while, I was changing my plot like it felt like every couple of weeks. It was probably more like every month. I was changing the theme on my main and just chunking what was there and saying adios and coming up with something different. But since then, I've become a big advocate of building straight off of the housing vendor. So working with alts has become a lot easier for me because I don't have the expectation that I need to have all of the top um, rep vendor decor or the dungeon decor or any of that stuff. So I keep it pretty simple for my alts. That's why most of my stuff is pretty basic looking. I don't have like the flashy neon signs and things that you have to craft a lot of. Because some of that crafting stuff is fairly expensive as well if you have to go get the materials for it. Yeah, I think a lot of builders would really love an increase in decor count, but for so many times they've always told us that it's to do with the rendering issues on whether or not um, certain people's computers could even handle it. Because I know for a fact that at least some plots right now can cause crashes for certain folks, depending on, you know, what it is, even at the limits that we are at now. So I can imagine it would just increase the amount of people that have problems visiting certain plots if that amount was, you know, buffed a bit. Is it that good, Kim? What's the plot name? I'll have to note it down. That's True Poi. About the doing it once a month even. So Rizwin is Kim's plot. Okay, let me note that down. You guys and your names get me all confused. Oh, is it Flower Heart? She wrote Flower Song. Let me correct that. Flower Heart. You guys are gonna have me looking, and I'm not gonna be able to visit. Yeah, exactly, Kim. Because I think I want to say it was either Katia or someone else that's very prominent on building up like RP plots and stuff was saying that there was a lot of folks that were having problems because they were maxed out at the 2500. And so when people would come into their plot, they'd automatically just get booted out because I guess their computer couldn't handle it. So it's something to do with the rendering, and I'm sure that's why, like when we have details, like if you look at even the 2x4s for the front there, you'll notice that they disappear after a certain distance. And so it looks like it's a big hole there, and that's why it's frustrating. I understand the reasoning behind the rendering, how it works for like smaller details, like it looks like there's nothing on the table there until you get really close. But it's just frustrating too because like when you want to take a nice overall screenshot, like half your plot is missing because you know a lot of the details are like the buildings and stuff. There's a lot of items that just weirdly disappear at a certain distance, no matter what size you make them. Green Ghost, is that the name of the character? Well, like I said, I'm working on it's like her game plots, like the wild ball, which I actually have a field on EU side that never gets used. But I'm in the works of trying to talk her into helping me get a golf course set up on EU side. Green Ghost. Okay, let me write that down. I'm gonna have so many places I'm gonna have to visit. I know there's like Poised places and Zodi's and oh, there's tons others. I've seen a few of Katya's, but that's usually because she'll transfer it over onto PTR. That's how I've been kind of accessing a lot of them. But like Adelon's places, I think a couple of those I visited on the PTR. That was before I actually had access to NA side, but I have access there now, but I just haven't been utilizing it because, you know, when I have my time, I spend it, you know, doodling on here. Yeah, Kim, but not everybody's a raider. I mean, I've raided, but I'm not, I'm definitely not what I would call a raider. Yeah, I have seen some of those videos, Cruz. See, that's another thing. I know, I think it was, what is it, Chestnut that does the yardcore? I think they've only done like 6 or 7 episodes. For me, I was reluctant to get into the NA side of things, partly because I knew there was already folks doing some videos. I know um, uh, there was the Yardcore Nexus, and then there was another one. I can't even think of the name. Someone that was doing videos and stuff. And I was even kind of hesitant about doing it for Javit's side because I knew Destinia was doing videos, and there was a couple others I think at the time. But I'm kind of glad that I went ahead with it because most of them have stopped, and I haven't seen anything new from Yardcore in a while. Well, maybe I'll just have to break down and do it. I'm gonna have to really decide how I would divvy it up though. I think what I would probably do is maybe alternate between the regions. 'Cause we do the tours weekly, and just do it like maybe say if we started it up next month, and the first week would be one region for both factions if it happens to be, you know, both factions, on each side that I could look at. Um, and then the next week would be the other region with a couple of samplings from both sides. Maybe that could be the way we do it. Because I would just hate to have like someone say, hey, my plot's done, and then I have to tell them, well, I won't be able to get to it for like a month. Because, you know, it's already a lot of people have been waiting for a long time on some of theirs anyway, because my list has been so long, and every time I see something new and shiny, I got to go squeeze that in as well. Because like it took me a long time to get to Inkara's plot from yesterday, because I've had so many other things come in that I wanted to show. But I didn't feel too badly about hers because I knew hers had already been showcased on somebody else's video, so I wasn't too distraught about that. But I really don't want to make someone feel like, well, how come you haven't gotten to mine yet, you know? No, I'm not going to, Kim. Not today. I would rather do that on an actual scheduled day so that people were aware and would come and check it out. This is just me goofing around. Yeah, I know I'm not doing anything, but really, I'm probably going to be wrapping it up here shortly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call this pretty much done, guys. And let's see about setting this up as an entire set. If I can work that. Now remember, the modular house itself is roughly 245. If you remember, I said somewhere along the way I've got a few that are missing pieces or have extra pieces, so it's like between 240 and 245. So next month, if you participate in the CBDC, keep that in mind. Just leave about 245, you know, count on that many pieces for your little modular house, whichever version you pick. It might actually be a few pieces less, but 245 is a good amount. So we're going to see how much all of this is. Anyone want to take a wild guess as to how many pieces it will be in total, including the 245? I have no idea. I'm sure it's not going to be a small amount. Come on. I'm going to try and link this all together without picking up the other house. I may actually have to move it just to make sure I don't pick it up. You think it's 1,000, Maddie? It could be. It very well could be. And I'm trying to make sure I avoid picking up the extras over here. Did I get everything? I hope so. Let's just do a test here. Looks like everything got grabbed. 1250 Zodi. Oh, looking for some generous. And Poi with the lucky 999. Voice make. Well, it's possible. I mean, you very well could have. I mean, I think it'd be tricky though. Some of the pieces, like the blanket on the bed, I did off camera, so you don't really know how many pieces I used there. unless you like actually took some screenshots of the video and went through counting and stuff. But like the flowers for the painting, you have no idea how many I used for that one for sure. Okay, so drum roll, it is the make a set here. Let's clear this ready one out. It is a whopping 1265. Wow, Zodi was super close with that. That's pretty amazing to have it that close.